I'm the Director of Business Development at Bittrex Global and the host of our video AMA. Today we're featuring Legacy Network, and our guest is Justin Waiau. He is the co-founder
Um,
team.
oh, there we go. It's back. Sorry, the audio went off for a second.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So I didn't hear anything you said right there.
Oh yeah, well I can start. Well, really appreciate you joining the podcast today, and we're super excited about listing you guys and to continue the dialogue and really learn more about your token and your team. So thanks for getting on.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us, and we're really excited to be part of the Bittrex family now.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our AMAs, we source questions from both our Bittrex Global and the broader crypto communities regarding your listing. So let's dive in. So to kick things off, we always kind of like to learn a little bit about our guest and hear your story. So can you tell our audience about what gave you the idea to create this unique project?
Yeah, so kind of in a nutshell, I mean, it's a long story for sure.
Sure.
But we kind of started trading, and we had a trading group with me and Wes Wade and some of the other guys that are involved in the project, and we kind of kept, we really believed in crypto and the blockchain and all the things we wanted to invest with. We were trying to be maximalist about it, like we really believed in the projects. And like personally, I started in import and export. So what drew me initially to blockchain was, being able to send funds overseas immediately, settle without the need for a third party. And so that's how I kind of came in. And then we had this group, and we're trying to look for great projects that we could really buckle down and support. And it was a little bit hard, like we had a hard time finding projects. There was always something wrong, and then eventually we decided to let's make our own project that'll be easier to send money and kind of solve all the problems that we had with all the projects we're investing. And that's kind of how we got started. And
Got it.
I don't mean to go off too long. Yeah, but
no, yeah. I mean, when did you guys, I guess, first get into this space?
Right. So about when we started forming our team and thinking about what we really wanted to do was about maybe 3 years ago. And we started, Ethereum was a little too expensive to build on, so it wasn't viable for what we were trying to do. And we eventually came across Tron, which we really love, even still to this day. And but we just kind of had some differences with their leadership and their vision, and that's when Legacy was born. And Wes Wade and I, my co-founder, decided, let's just build our own blockchain and just kind of make it solid from the start, basically.
Sure. And can you also share a little bit about the background of your leadership team as well?
Yeah. So we have Wes Wade. He's actually a pastor. So so he's our team leader, and he kind of handles, the day-to-day between all the different projects. I'm project manager. I kind of do the same thing. We have Ablaisha Singh, who is our main head developer. We have Craig Mackey, who's our marketing director, and he's been everywhere, in the game. He's done conferences, and and we've all been in tech forever, our whole lives, so.
Got it. Yeah. And I guess before we delve into the details of the project, I was curious to learn about why the name Legacy Network, kind of, if you can provide insight onto what gave you the idea to name that.
So it was kind of a play on Tron, because we forked Tron as our base originally before we, changed it. And Legacy is, the second movie in Tron. So that's kind of how we got it.
Got it. Okay, so I guess kind of looking forward now, can you talk us through the Legacy Networks team's roadmap for the future? What does some of the upcoming milestones look like for the immediate next year, and as well as kind of your long-term plan in the next 5 to 10 years as well?
Absolutely. So we just launched the chain officially this year, and so we've been hardening it, testing it. We've built developer tools, released our staking. But what's next for us is we're going to be releasing Mirrordex, which is our DEX, our exchange DEX, and that'll be using USDL to pair against it. We're going to have wallets, desktop wallets, plugin Chrome extensions, kind of the same, following the normal blockchain ecosystem. But immediately Hotbit actually just finished integration for us for our LRC20 tokens. So that's kind of the first thing we have going. And yeah, we're kind of just trying to build out our ecosystem, get all the known dApps in place. We have Pendulum, which is our DeFi arm of Legacy, and yeah.
Got it. If you can just go backwards a little bit, can you just give us a brief introduction about the utility of the token as well?
Yeah. So we have two tokens. We have Legacy LGCY, which is our governance token to be used on voting on proposals. And we have our gas token, which is kind of what we're really proud about. It's a stable gas token. So it's called USDL. And one USDL is equal to $1 worth of server fees on our network. So what this does is it allows users to send transactions and not have to worry about, today it's $200, yesterday it's $5, so they don't have to worry about the volatility of it. And especially projects, they can create dApps and actually be able to budget and plan out how much they're going to spend throughout the year or 2 years, rather than on Ethereum where it's going to spike. They might not have enough money to even afford to, run the dApp later on. So yeah, and that's kind of, and we're fast, low cost, all the bells and whistles of a new chain.
Sure. And when you say the Legacy token is a governance token, can you just expand a little bit upon that?
Yeah. So the way our governance model works is it's not proof of stake where you stake your tokens and every token gets a vote. Rather, it's you stake it with a delegate. So it's, DPoS. So we have about 27 that are allowed to vote on proposals. And those people are experienced developers. They know what the chain needs. And our users use their Legacy to stake with them instead. And they offer rewards in return. So, yeah.
Got it. Also, a question about kind of the community building aspect of your token. Obviously, every token, it's very important for teams to build their own identity and build a really user base around that identity. So, how did you get the community involved in kind of developing the Legacy network, and how did you kind of continue to build a strong community to kind of grow globally to this day?
Yeah, so we've always been focused on community over everything. That's where we've dedicated a third of the total token supply to be staked in perpetuity, and the rewards from that will be voted on by our governing bodies, by the community. So forever, the network will be able to fund community-run projects and encourage developers to get on board. So that's been kind of one of the biggest things. And personally, I burnt all of my team allocation, my team tokens, to kind of make it more decentralized, so I can't, overrun and overrule everybody with a massive amount of votes. So yeah, we're just, keeping it as decentralized as possible, open, encouraging developers, incentivizing them. And yeah, that's kind of been our strategy.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. So can you delve in a little bit more on kind of the funds and the liquidity side of things to support your developers? That's interesting that you've liquidated your portion for the developers.
Yeah. So, sorry, could you clarify as far as liquidity, like how we're gonna?
Yeah. So how you guys have specific plans to fund and also add liquidity specifically for your developers, if there's any future plans on kind of building on top of that. I know that you personally liquidated your portion of the tokens. So
yeah, so the developers, we encourage them to do one of two things. They either use their legacy tokens that they've gained from us, or the rewards to become governing bodies, become one of the delegates, so they can become powerful in the community and make decisions that way. But also to use it to fund the way we're going to add liquidity. So you stake legacy and you get USDL, so legacy isn't inflated. And what you can do with that USDL after is it's the base pair for our mirror decks, our future decks. So they can use that to buy any token on our decks, and then in return, use that for funding their project.
Got it. Okay. So also curious to learn more about kind of the listing strategy on the centralized exchange. I know that we're very happy to have you guys listed on Bittrex Global, but at the same time, is there any other listing strategy in terms of working with centralized exchanges out there in your future role?
Well, our strategy from the beginning has kind of been to list. We don't want a billion listings and have it spread out all over the place. So every time we get a listing, we make it a new home of ours. So for example, this AMA, we really want to push people towards Bittrex and kind of gain a foothold there before moving on to another exchange, and just kind of everybody jumping from one exchange to another sort of thing. So yeah, our listing strategy has really been to dig into what we have and move slowly on that.
Got it. Another topic that we had a lot of interest from our community was regarding the tokenomics. So can you walk us through the legacy network's tokenomics and the structure?
Yeah, so we have, we originally started with 100 billion tokens. 33 billion of those tokens were meant for us to hold for a little bit while we stabilize the network. So we needed, some control in the beginning and centralization. And then we were to burn those. But we actually got a lot of community interest, and we were more confident that we didn't need to do that in the beginning. So we burnt that right away within the first year. The next 33 billion tokens were to go to the developer fund to stake it in perpetuity, and then the rewards from that be given out to the community. And the last third, I think 20 billion was pre-sale, and we sold about 12.5 billion and then burnt the rest. And then we have 5 billion went to the team, and the rest went to exchange allocations and a small dev fund before staking started.
Yeah. Got it. So as a follow-up to that, can you also talk I know you've touched upon a little bit on the staking features, but can you just explain a little more for our audience?
Yeah, so it's kind of, we're doing it a bit differently from normal staking. So we have our base staking, where right now it's only 12 months that are up. So you stake your legacy in the 12-month pool, and in 12 months you get back the equivalent amount in USDL, a percentage of it. And the way that works is at the end of the staking, it kind of calculates how much the legacy is worth, and then you get a percentage of it in USDL, but not legacy. So there's no inflation.
Got it.
But we also have with the delegates, with the 27 delegates that run the network, that vote on proposals, our users can stake with us or they can stake with them, and they will give out their own customized rewards. So, for example, we have one of our delegates called Liquid Legacy. When you stake with them, your legacy, you get back a derivative called S Legacy, and you can use that to farm, or it's just another token to use. And it's a loan basically on your legacy, and it's 1-to-1. And at the end of the 12 months, they still get back their USDL rewards, and then they return their S Legacy. So they have something to do in the meantime.
Sure. So I guess if you're not a developer and you're staking the legacy token and you're getting USDL, is there a off-ramp option on USDL as well?
Yeah, well, it's a new token right now, so we still need to get some listings for it. But originally we had the ERC20 token version of it, and it was on Beaky and it was on Bilaxy, but Bilaxy had a hack and Beaky shut down. So, and that was a few months ago. So now we're working to get more listings for USDL and have that off ramp.
Got it. And I think Bittrex Global is a logical.
Well, we'd love to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
USDL, because obviously we have the legacy network listed on the exchange. And I guess also if you can talk about how you guys ensure kind of safety and security of your users as well. What are kind of some of the protocols and measures that your team has kind of put into place to make sure that everyone's protected?
Yeah, so that's kind of where the governing body comes in. We created our network, and we've self-audited 1,000 times over. But besides that, the actual governance, I think, is our main security, because anytime something is to be changed, it can't be changed quickly. It'll be changed slowly, which is a good thing, because it needs majority vote of the 27 governing bodies. So I think slow change is actually our biggest security. When it's moving too fast, not everybody can understand and debate all the pros and cons of the new development or proposal. So yeah, I think that's one of our biggest security moving into the future.
Got it. And I think that's kind of the approach that a lot of up and coming projects really take. I mean, if you look at Ethereum, Cardano, I mean, those projects were not as decentralized as they are right now. So it's definitely a lot of teams are kind of taking that approach and ensuring users that you guys are committed to becoming a more decentralized project. So I think that's good for the industry. Let's also talk about your target customers. How do you plan to attract users who aren't currently familiar with crypto at all? If there's any target areas that you guys are looking to really push marketing and build awareness?
Yeah, so that kind of goes into this other project I'm working on that I'm building on Legacy. It's called LootUp, and it's under a publicly traded parent company called Quantum International, of which I'm president of. And what basically we're trying to get out to, the everyday users, the mom and pop, the grandmas. LootUp is a payment app, and it's it's aimed to make crypto easy and a no-brainer. So for example, a few examples would be, instead of sending to a long address on LootUp app, you'll be able to send to a username. You can whitelist the usernames. Another thing is we're doing sponsored gas. So you'll be able to use tokens on the app without having to have the actual USDL gas for it. So we pay the gas, their token gets sent out, and they only need that one token to do it. So they don't, need two tokens to do one thing. Another really cool feature is we have a confirm and cancel function where, so you can send money or funds to another person, and they can either confirm it or you can cancel it because it gets trapped in a broker address. And you can send invoices with it. So we're really just trying to bring it all together and put all the pieces of the puzzle together and make it easy for everybody.
And is that specifically powered by the legacy token, or is that different assets as well?
It's going to have Loot as its own token, but it's going to be built on legacy and powered by USDL.
Got it. Yeah, well, I mean, that's very interesting. Obviously, the whole point of building is to really have retail come in and have real use cases. So it's interesting that you guys are kind of doing that in parallel. Very interesting. I guess it was we went through all the questions pretty quickly. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, maybe some new partners we have.
Sure.
I kind of got this art gallery owner, Bill Weiland, very famous in the art world. And he recently joined on board with Quantum International Core, which is LootUp. And he's going to be bringing, a lot of legitimate, well-known artists into the legacy NFT marketplace. So, I mean, that's kind of been what I've been doing this last week, kind of going over that kind of stuff. And it's really exciting. We already signed a few artists. I can't say who, but very excited about that. There's nothing wrong with the NFT market right now. There's a lot of great new artists that have came up, and it's a really cool space. But I think we need some big names as well. Some big names in the art world. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Can you explain a bit about that marketplace?
Yeah. So the marketplace is also going to be on LootUp as a feature. So it's a payment app, and you can also buy and sell things in the marketplace, NFTs and actual real life goods as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. The space has brought a lot of cool products, but I feel like not too many people have really put it together. And there's a whole project of one feature, and there's another project of another feature, but they're missing that one. So yeah, I'm really excited about the future of Legacy Network and what we have. Yeah.
And I'm assuming the marketplace is a standard bid and sell you guys built onto the platform. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. And we're working with World Token to do that. They already have their marketplace up, and one of our partners. So
got it. Yeah. I mean, it takes one big artist to really attract other projects to come onto the marketplace. So that's very exciting to hear. So I guess for our final question, what's the best way that our community members can get involved with the Legacy Network project?
We're very active in Telegram, Telegram at Legacy Network. Our Twitter, try to be active on there as well. We have a Discord open, again, Legacy Network. And a lot of our founders and heads we'll go into the chat and kind of chat with everyday people and our users and the community, and we try to be very available. We don't hide behind any mods or anything. So yeah,
absolutely. That's very good to hear. Thank you very much, Justin, for joining us for this AMA today. You definitely learned a lot about your token and other business activities that you're currently doing. So we're very excited about partnering with you guys and also the future of legacy tokens.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us. And we're really excited to get moving and start promoting with Bittrex. And
sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And if our viewers want to learn more about Legacy Network, please go to www.legacynetwork. That's www.lgcy.network. Thank you again, Justin. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.